Right. Well, let's move on then. Let's talk about Sheela Foam. That is the first management on the show. The stock has slipped close to around 90% odd in this year so far. To discuss demand trends, how is exports, how is that inorganic growth shaping up, we have with us Rahul Gautam, the CMD of Sheela Foam, who joins us on the show. Hi, good morning, Rahul. Thanks a lot for joining in. Well, first up, let's talk about the volume growth targets for the year. I think for the last year, you did roughly around 7% odd, and you had value growth of close to around 20%. For this year, how is the trend so far in terms of demand, and what could you guide us on the volume and value front?
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. This year, although we are in a bit of a period where one shouldn't be talking too much about the projections, but we are looking at close to 10% as a volume growth and close to about between 10 to 15% as a value growth.
So then you're guiding for around a 20-25% growth for the year in revenue terms?
I think it'll be something between 15 to 20. I mean, things really do not work out exactly like that.
Okay.
The volume growth is there, but sometimes the average selling prices are a bit lower, and therefore what comes out as a final number is something around 15-16%.
All right, and this includes an inorganic growth that you've done?
Not really. It does not include that.
Doesn't include that.
Because Kurlon has a history of its own, so that would be just an addition on top of that. It does not include.
Okay, got it. So, Mr. Gautam, good morning. So, 10% volume growth and 15 to 20% revenue growth is what you're looking at. Got it. I wanted an outlook on what's happening with the Spain and the Australia businesses, because I was going through the numbers there. In FY24, you've seen a degrowth in your revenues in Spain. Margins have also fallen. Even Australia has seen a degrowth. So, will exports continue to be under pressure, and how long do you think it would take for growth to come back?
So first, let me just say that these are not exports, but these are manufactured in those countries. The very nature of our business is that we can't export. You know, it's very voluminous items. Let me first talk about Spain. Spain is we have a very small market share in a very large European Union market. Though the markets are shrinking and contracting there, but we are continuing to grow. Last year, we did see a drop in the top line, and that was primarily on account of the raw material prices coming down. You know, they had come down, and therefore that was the impact. On a quantum basis or a volume basis, we still did well. And let me just say a couple of months which have gone by as far as this year is concerned, it's on track. It's growing.
So earlier for the US market, you had said that it could be 100 crore revenue run rate market for you. Are you on track to do that?
No, that is one thing that I must put forward, and that is on account of the US suddenly putting up very huge anti-dumping duties, and that they did not only from India but from almost all over the world. So that market, which started off, or those supplies which started from China, then came to India, a little bit in Europe, and then to the other parts of the North American market, are now getting concentrated in the US only. So I think it's clearly the intent of US to bring that manufacturing back there. Will we be able to do too much about it? Probably not. There would be a few containers which will kind of continue, which may be a little bit on a value-added products, but that bulk export to the US would be under challenge.
Have you guys ever been in the market for a mattress lately? Have you looked around? I mean, it's incredible. I mean, you know, it's there's the amount of technology now, which at least is advertised, right? They can cool your sleep. I don't know how they do it.
Wow.
There's I think all kinds of adjustable stuff. You know, maybe the only thing they don't do maybe is sing you a lullaby or something.
Maybe there's that will come soon as well. There'll be a small speaker next to your mattress.
But you know, on a serious note, Mr. Gautam, there's so much innovation, right, all across. And that actually goes to the point about the premium end, which has been doing well, which is where bulk of the thrust is really. So how is that shaping up? Because, in that premium end, there is a lot of competition as well. I've asked you this before as well. You can see it on advertisements we see on television. How is that shaping up, that top end, which I'm assuming is also where you make maximum margins?
That is true. We make maximum margins, and it is also true that the growth rates are the best out there. But the base is so small, extremely small, that it will take a while before they begin to make any kind of significant impact on the top line or the bottom line. But they definitely show the trend, and we are well on that journey part of it. You're quite right on saying that the innovations are a galore. I mean, you can you talked about the cool mattress and those kind of things, or mattresses. I know you talked about lullaby songs, etc. But all that is possible, and the contoured mattress, which can sort of be even programmed to sort of change in the night when you get into a deeper sleep. All those things are there, but the bulk is where just the price and good value for money is to be looked at.
At what rate is this premium end growing? It's very small, as you said, but is it growing at a fast clip or not really?
Very, very, very fast. You could look 50 to 60% per annum.
Wow,
it's a large number, but the base is extremely small.
And for you, how much is this as a percentage of, say, EBITDA? Because the margins are higher here.
Yeah, but as I said, the impact on the top line, bottom line is very, very abysmal.
Very, very small.
It might be closer to one. Yeah, but it's growing fast. And as I said, they may not be contributing at the moment, but they're definitely showing the trend.
And when we say premium here, what's the price point?
So when you say premium, it's about 20,000 rupees for a mattress, for a single mattress.
Okay, 20 plus.
Oh, okay, all right. Mr. Gautam, let's look at a couple of other aspects then. The inorganic growth that you did on Kurlon. Could you tell us how's the integration progressing? I recall you telling us that, in fact, these margins are likely to tick up from what they were. I think they were in high single digits, 7-8% odd. So what is the annual run rate that you're looking at, say, for this year from this acquisition? And will the margin trajectory gradually improve from this year itself?
So as far as the integration is concerned, primarily two parts to it. One is the back end part of it, which would, the consolidation there would really bring about the increase in the bottom line and in the margins. So what was hovering more around 7-8%, we expect that to go up to between 10 and 11%. And that integration has done well. Although we are not yet a year away from the transaction, and we are beginning to see those numbers in the bottom line. It's the front end which is taking more time, which will add to the top line, and that's because there are people, there are set systems, there are set policies. Two completely different organizations competing against each other, and to integrate the distribution and the dealership, and eventually reaching out to the consumer. But all this is happening. We've taken a target of 1 year for ourselves. We did the transaction in middle of October last year. So by October, all these things should settle down. But the back end has, and the bottom line has.
Okay, all right. Final question, Mr. Gautam, before we let you go. We've got a fair bit of an idea on your business, but we also get an insight into other prices like TDI prices, as well as a couple of other input costs. Could you tell us how the trends were, particularly of TDI in the first quarter, if you compare it with quarter 4, and how do you see it panning out going ahead?
Very steady and probably at the right level. When you look at the consumers as well as the producers of TDI. So hovering around 200 rupees a kilo, little bit of fluctuations of some plus minus 7-8 rupees that goes on. So recently, just about 3 days back, went up by 7 rupees, but a few days back it had gone down by 5 rupees. But it's at a steady level of 200. It was the polyol which was creating a little more problems for us. There was an anti-dumping duty which was about to be levied, but to the best of our understanding, and those 90 days for the finance ministry are over, that it's not coming. And I think that's a big relief for the sector.
All right, we'll leave it there, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Great speaking with you as always. Good conversation. And we'll talk again.